r/AskReddit. What only exists because people are stupid. When my aunt died, I ended up with my mom and uncle talking to the funeral home advisor. When they were discussing cremation, the funeral advisor made my uncle sign a form that he understands cremation is irreversible. The forbidden jigsaw puzzle. Yup, I had to do that at my dad's. Can't recall with my mom, but she had a viewing before being cremated. But when it comes to funeral stuff, I'm a lot more lenient. Many people going to a funeral home are within a day or so of their relative dying and might not be in the right state of mind. The contract is both protection and a firm reminder to the grieving person, because grieving people might flip-flop in their decisions. I see it as a wake the duck up. It's permanent. Warning. I had the great misfortune of taking my hysterical aunt to the funeral home the morning after she found my uncle, who was 50, dead. She was a 44-year-old widow. Insisted the whole way that he would be cremated, but when we got in and she started talking to the director, she became hysterical all over again and told him she wanted family to be able to see my uncle and she didn't want him to burn. So there was a viewing. Warnings that you shouldn't try stupid TV antics at home. Professional driver on closed course proceeds to show a CGI effects fest of a car jumping across rooftops. Or worse, someone checking traffic, pulling out of their driveway, coming to a complete stop at a stop sign, using a turn signal, then turning and merging with traffic. Warning. Professional driver on closed course. Do not attempt. Stickers on wood chippers telling people not to stick their limbs inside. But what else would I do with all these tree limbs? Tree limbs? You're supposed to have 4 limbs. You stuck the other one in the wood chipper, didn't you? Warnings on microwaves and ovens that the food might be hot afterwards. That is pretty much the purpose of those. To heat the food. To be fair, might be hot is a pretty good way of describing the food that comes out of my shitty ass microwave. It might be hot. It might be frozen. It might have melted through the plate. Buckle up, kiddos. We're going on a culinary adventure. The microwave at my work actually does both. Part of the food is burned and part cold. There's a nice little sign above the shredder where I work warning people that documents put through this device will not be recoverable. Just turn it over and put it through the other side. Search as shredder for undo button. That warning at the end of every pharma ad. Don't take Repressital if you are allergic to Repressital. Or any of its ingredients. What are the ingredients? 2% Presbyterium HCl, 98% FEAs. In case this was meant to be a jab at the companies, FEAs are actually super important, depending on the medication. For example, a topical cream, they can assist in absorption or alleviation of certain side effects, increase shelf life, or otherwise help out. The main use is to prevent easily overdosing though, specifically in oral medication. Cause I don't know about you, but I can't measure out exactly 0.5 milliliters of Presbyterium at home. Penis enlargement scams. For only 3 payments of $19.99 I can guarantee your penis will be bigger than mine. If we pay you enough money you will chop your penis off. The commercials where they do some shit that's nearly impossible for an actual human to do, but they still have to say do not try this at home BC someone's crackhead looking ass is definitely going to try. I always wonder about car commercials where they depict someone driving normally on a normal road. Professional driver on a closed course. Do not attempt. Yeah, those ones always got me BC, they were pointless. On every wrapper, there are instructions that you should put it into trash. I once ate a Twix with the wrapper on it, and I've never seen the wrapper come out. When I was a baby my head was really big and scientists did experiments on me. Stupid is probably going a bit far, but there are plenty of products that were massively unpopular because they worked too well and people just didn't get them. The best example I can think of is Febreze, which was designed as a scent eradicator and was, by its very nature, completely odorless. The only problem is that people get used to their own personal brand of stank, so they couldn't tell the difference between their own smelly ass home before and after it was sprayed. They had to put a scent into the product that was designed to get rid of scents just so people would appreciate it had actually been used, after which it started selling like crazy. Like how people thought vacuum cleaners weren't working because they were too quiet, so sound engineers had to make vacuums louder, on vacuums and cars and potato chips. As someone sensitive to sounds, I hate this so much. Those tags on hair dryers that state not to use them in the shower. To save time in my morning routine, I poop in bed, wipe in the shower, and brush my teeth while cooking breakfast. I love how you know time for pooping on the toilet but still cook your breakfast. Also sounds like you took the amazing Mr. Bean morning routine sketch to the maximum. Recently started a job that has a massive walk-in freezer. Part of the induction was explaining that you shouldn't lick the frozen metal rollers that the stock was placed on. My reply: we can still lick the regular ones though, right? Totally wrong crowd, haha. Totally wrong crowd. Whoa, sounds like a fun place to work. Plot twist: he works in a morgue. The little sticker on the front of vending machines that say not to shake them as if it falls it will crush you and can cause serious bodily harm up to and including death. More people are killed this way than by sharks. Well, sure, nobody swims up to a shark and starts shaking it until it falls on them. Multi-level marketing schemes. If you have to pay a company for the privilege to work for them, I have news for you. You have to invest to be an entrepreneur here. How else can I get a Lambo like my manager? Selling these knives. Self-made entrepreneur self-boss. How are you your own boss if you have a manager? Signs at the supermarkets telling people not to wash their hands in the fish tanks or the tanks of any other sea creatures. This should be an unspoken rule. But because it was unspoken, some stupid ass dildos decided to wash their hands in the damn tanks. Edit. I should not have said any other sea creatures. Obviously, certain tanks will have the tops off, but for eels, lobster, and other select animals, the tops are on. How the hell did they wash their hands in the tanks? I've never been in a position to touch the water as far as I know. It's a supermarket where they have the tops off the tanks, I guess. Stupid people get stupid ideas. Bags of nuts with a written warning explaining that the product may contain nuts. Or egg cartons with contains eggs on them. Yes, this floor here is made out of floor. Don't take drug name if you're allergic to drug name. Bouncers at bars and clubs can attest. Minimally paid drunk toddler attendants. Not necessarily minimally. The best money I made in my early 20s was from bouncing. It was kind of obscene how much someone would pay to cut a line or act rich in front of a day just to get into a bar/club. $60 AirPod straps. I initially retied pod straps and had a serious WTF moment. I envisioned a strap you'd attach to a Tide Pod that you could pull in case someone ingested a pod, yanking it out like you trying to start a lawnmower. Algorithms that fill your newsfeed with inflammatory clickbait. How else am I supposed to learn about the Maryland man who got tens of thousands of dollars from the government? Or the new law that has drivers in my area furious? Warning stickers. Arguably some might be beneficial. However, a lot of them are added on because someone did something stupid, or in fear of doing something stupid a sticker got slapped on. I go to several anime and video game conventions, and I sometimes see very specific rules that make me laugh because I know there was some incident and they made a rule about it. Stuff like, no wearing roller skates while you're also wearing a leash. Costumes may not be on fire. Do not release birds inside the building. Do not try to build a trampoline. Time to expand the list. A steam iron with do not use while wearing clothes on the box. I follow that rule. It's quite a surprise for people who walk in on me in the laundry room. Betty Crocker once made a cake mix that was add water only. No need for other ingredients. And it came out the most perfect, moist cake. People stopped buying it because adding water didn't make them feel like they were baking a cake. Betty Crocker took away ingredients and needed people to add milk and eggs to the mix so people will buy their cake mix again. Turns out that a large part of baking is that feeling like you actually made something. However, as Laura Shapiro observed in Something from the Oven, reinventing dinner in 1950s America, while Dichter's work was influential, its precise role in the success of the cake mix is unclear. For starters, although it may not have been a point articulated by the homemakers Dichter surveyed, the fact was that fresh eggs produced superior cakes. Using complete mixes which included dried eggs resulted in cakes that stuck to the pan, had poor texture, had a shorter shelf life, and often tasted too strongly of eggs. Chances are, Shapiro wrote, if adding eggs persuaded some women to overcome their aversion to cake mixes, it was at least partly because fresh eggs made for better cakes. Furthermore, the two food companies who came to dominate the cake mix market in this era, General Mills and Pillsbury, adopted opposite approaches. The former chose to go with fresh egg mixes, while Pillsbury opted to offer complete mixes. If the form of eggs used were truly the tipping point that saved the cake mix industry, then sales of one of these companies' products should have tanked in comparison to the others. Double quote. Snopes.com link. Internet scams. Tons of idiots out there. It crosses all genders, ages, races and education level. Bitman, if people aren't ducking dumb as a box of rocks. Way too many Redditors even come to r/scams asking about scams they either fell for or are about. It's sad really. I can't imagine how one could ever send a stranger money sight unseen. I don't even part with money to people I know. Can't imagine giving even a penny to strangers. I work with older adults and they are prime target for scammers. I had a lady tell me she got a phone call from a man who said he was from the internet. He wanted to fix her computer for X reason. She didn't believe him and hung up. So far, so good. The $sign actually called back, and because he called back, she thought it was true. Gave him her email password, etc., and ultimately lost her computer. Scams against older adults are more sad and desperate. Last year my grandpa got a call from Microsoft telling him that his computer had a virus. When he told me about it afterwards, he said I knew it was a scam because I don't have Microsoft. I have Windows. Walk-in income tax preparation businesses like H&R Block, ACT. Complicated tax situations need an accountant or CPA, but the majority of taxes prepared while you wait are extremely simple and can be prepared by anyone capable of reading and using a calculator. And in other countries, the government just does the taxes for you. There's no reason we can't do that in the US, other than H&R Block and TurboTax lobbying against it. If you don't file your taxes on time, the IRS will do it for you, and then duck it up 6 ways from Sunday. I've been fighting them for the past year because no, I don't owe additional taxes. They owe me. Diseases that have long been eradicated that are coming back because of the idiots who don't vaccinate their kids. Edit. THX so much for my first gold. Edit 2. No way another one. Very much appreciated. Anti-vaxxers have gone quiet in regards to the measles epidemic in Samoa. Hard to be smug when burying your own child. Measles. Measles is such a funny sounding name. How serious could it possibly be? Same with mumps, chickenpox, and bubonic plague. Many reactions to the Super Size Me film. In the years since the movie was released, fast food restaurants have tried to appear healthier. Many people acted as though it provided a huge revelation. We watched it in my high school health class, and I didn't understand the point. Fast food is unhealthy. Eating nothing but McDonald's is bad for you. Did people not know this? Or was it just another one of those instances where people pretended to care because that was the cool trending topic for a bit? The knee-jerk reactions from people who act like having a fast food burger once in a while is going to automatically kill you. That's way different from eating multiple fast food meals per day like what's name in that movie did. Amen. I liked the movie because it was kind of interesting to see the effects. But who the hell didn't know that eating McDonald's for every meal or any other fast food for that matter was not a good idea? Reminds me of a science project I had to do in grade school. My idea was to show the effects of acid rain. One plant was watered normally, the other was watered with a 3-1 mixture of some sort of acid and water. Oddly enough, the straight acid-fed plant died. So in France, soy milks and any other milks in that kind are now labeled vegetable beverages because it was too confusing. Guess PPL thought you have to milk soybeans like a cow. I'm gonna also put that there is vegetal chicken, which is basically chicken raised with vegetables I think. And no one raise an eyebrow on that one. Shrug. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.